This conference will now be recorded.
So what I will do is I'll talk about some Linux basics today. So in the last class, we talked about how to create an AWS machine in the cloud. And after creating the machine, how you can log into the machine from your laptop. And I told you, it doesn't matter whether you are using a Windows PC or Linux PC, you will still be able to log in to the AWS machine. And that is exactly what we will do today. We will log into that AWS machine from your laptop, and we will practice some basic Linux commands inside that machine. And that is the plan for today, right? And that's what I'm going to do. I go to my AWS account, and the machine which I created yesterday, I believe I deleted it. I want to create a new machine now. Let me do that. So I'm going to log into my AWS account with my email ID and password.
Yeah, hi Basil, I'm back.
Yeah, we haven't started anything. We actually am creating a new machine in the AWS cloud. So yeah,
So we have to create another machine?
actually no. In my case, I deleted that machine that I created yesterday. So in your case, no.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm creating a new machine, and this time I'm not creating a new key pair. I'm choosing an existing key pair, right? So at the time of creating the machine, there are two options. One is create a new key pair. That is what we all did. But this time, I'm not choosing that option. I'm choosing the first option. Choose existing key pair. I'm choosing the key that I created yesterday, Feb 23, 2021. That is the key that I created yesterday. I want to use the same key to log into this new machine that I am creating. So you can do that, right? And so if you did that, then you can log into this machine using the same key. So AWS allows you to do that. And that's it. My machine is created. Now I can go back to the EC2 page to see that machine. Let's take a look at the machine. And over here, you have it. The machine is currently in pending state.
Basil, small concern. So already other two missions are in the running state, right? Why do you want to create the new one?
Actually, I am using the other two machines for a different purpose. So I don't want to touch them. In your case, it would be only one. So don't create multiple, create only one, keep only
If,
one.
if it is already running means it's working, right?
Yes, that's
Or
correct.
okay, okay.
They are working. All right. I'm going to log in to this machine using the public IP from my laptop. And as I told you, I'm using a MacBook. So those who are using a MacBook, this is how you log in. SSH Ubuntu @ IP address. You need to mention the key file Feb 23, 2021. That is the key. So it's 22. One second.
It's 23, sir.
Okay.
Feb
Feb
23, 2021.
Yeah, but I don't see the
20.
file. One second. I think I may have deleted that file. Oh, sorry. Today I'm using a different laptop. Sorry. Let me create a new machine with a new key pair. The key that I created yesterday, that is on a different laptop. I'm terminating the machine and I'm creating a new machine with a new key. I'm creating a key with name Feb24 and it is downloaded, and I will use this downloaded key to log into the new machine. So go back to the page and the machine is in pending state. And when you download a key for the first time, you will run this command to make sure that it has the right permission within your laptop. And then you can run the SSH command web24.pem ubuntu @ IP address of the machine. So this is the command that people who are using MacBook need to run on their laptop when they want to log into this AWS machine, which is in the cloud. So run this command, and yeah, it is asking me, are you sure you want to continue connecting? Type in yes, press enter, and that's it. Now I am logged in to the AWS machine. Now I am, yeah.
That chmod 400 is used for?
Securing the key within my MacBook. The people who are using MacBook must run that command. It's a one-time command to secure the key.
What the command for what it can do?
Uh, it will limit the permissions of the key file. It is for a security purpose. You know, if you don't do that, SSH would throw you some error.
Okay.
You are basically limiting the permissions of the key file on your laptop. So securing it on your laptop, that's what you're doing by
Okay.
running that.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So the next thing, now what I did is, let me summarize it. From your laptop, this is your laptop. From your laptop, you have SSH, or you have logged into the machine, which is in the cloud. So this is your AWS machine, this is your laptop, and from your laptop you SSH into the remote machine. And the same thing you do using PuTTY. The people who are using Windows, you will use PuTTY. You will put the IP address, username as Ubuntu, and you upload the PPK file. So the same procedure, and the protocol that it uses, it is called SSH. SSH is the backend protocol both PuTTY and MacBook terminal uses in order to log in to the remote machine. So you have successfully logged in to the remote machine, and you can now see the command line of the remote machine. So I got a command line, and in this command line I can run my commands. There are different commands I can execute for you also, right? It doesn't matter what operating system you are on. Once you logged into the remote Linux machine, we both have the same lab environment, a Linux command line, and this is where we both will work. And we are actually working on the remote AWS machine. Got it? Right. So let's once you are in the terminal, we can start executing some basic Linux commands. Right? There are different commands. To create a file, there's a command. To create a folder, there's a command. And to understand which user you are currently logged in as, there's a command. Run the command who am I. It would tell you which user you are currently logged in as. And this is something you already expected, right? Remember, what we did is, from our laptops we logged into the remote AWS machine, as user Ubuntu. There is a user Ubuntu inside the AWS machine, and that is where the user we are currently working on. I mean, you understand what is mean by user, right? In every machines there's a user. In Windows also, in your laptop, when you want to turn on your laptop, you want to log into your laptop, you log in with a username and password, then you logged in as that user. You are working as that user on your laptop. And similarly in Linux also there are uses. So I SSH into the remote machine, and there is a Linux command called who am I already know I am logged in as user Ubuntu, and whoami is a Linux command that will help you verify that. Whoami command would actually show you what user you are currently logged in as. And then in every Linux machine, there is another user called root. In Windows, you have administrator, right? Similar to that, in Linux, there is a user called root. And this user can do anything he wants on your Linux machine. He is a super user, right? In Windows PC, you already know. If you log in as a normal user, you will have certain kind of restrictions to work on, right? On Windows. But if you log in as an administrator, you would be able to edit your registry. You would be able to install sensitive software, right? There are different, you can edit sensitive files if you log in as an administrator. So the same concept applies to Linux also. In case of Linux, there is a user with name root. And currently I am logged in as user Ubuntu, that you can see from the whoami command. And if you want to log in as root, this is the command you can execute. So this command will switch yourself to the root user. You would become the root user. And now you are a highly privileged user. You can run whatever commands that you want to run. Even very sensitive commands will also work if you work under the root user. Now you type the whoami command to confirm. Now you are logged in as root. Every time you run whoami command, it will show you which user you are currently logged in as. You are currently logged in as root user. It makes sense. So what I want all of you to do is, at least for first few days, you always work as the root user. Okay, so that you will not find any permission problems or related problem until you become comfortable, right? Not always. It's not very much recommended to work as a root user on Linux, but until you become comfortable, I want all of you to work as the root user. So what you need to do is execute this command after you logged into putty. Okay, after logging into putty, just execute this command. That's what you need to do. All right, so now I am logged in as the root user, and now I can start working. And there are different commands you can execute. There's a command called touch, using which you can create a file. For example, I want to create a file with the name test.txt, a text file. Like in Windows, you create a file that can be edited with a notepad, right? So similar text file you want to create, you can use a touch command to do it. Touch space file name, then it would create the file. Okay, the file is created. And if you want to create a folder, there's a command called mkdir, and we will talk all about that, right? First of all, let me give you a brief introduction about the Linux file system, how exactly the Linux file system work. That is what I'm going to talk about. So in your Windows PC, I mean, if you open my computer, you can see C drive, D drive, E drive, you can find different partitions of your hard disk. And if you open any one of the drive, you will get into a folder. I mean, you can see, or you double click on C drive, you can see all files and folders in that drive. And if you double click on any one of the folder, you will go inside that folder and you can see the content of that folder. So in Windows, the file system, it's like a tree. right? It is in a tree format. It starts from one folder, and in that folder you will find more folders and files. And if you get into any one of the subfolder, you will find more subfolders and files inside. So the hierarchy is something like a tree. So that is exactly what Linux also look like, the file system, the hierarchy of the file system. It's like a tree, and everything starts from one single folder. The folder name is slash. In Linux, you will find a folder with the name slash, and in that folder you find everything else. Everything start from slash. Below that you would find other folders and subfolders, and like that. It's like a tree in Linux also. So let me draw that up for you for a clear understanding. What I'm trying to say here is that every machine has a hard disk. Your laptop has a hard disk. The AWS machine that we created has a hard disk, or in general it is called a secondary storage. And in that secondary storage you store your data, right? Your songs, movies, or your files, folders, whatever you create them inside that hard disk. So let me show you how exactly the structure look like. Sorry. So everything, like I said, begin from a folder called slash. If you look into the Linux file system, the first folder that you see is the slash folder, and inside the slash folder you would find, different other folders and files. For example, there could be a folder with the name F1, and then there can be another folder called F2, and there can be another file with the name test.txt. Maybe a file, I will draw circles to avoid the confusion. So this is a file, and the file name is test.t. You know the difference between file and a folder, right? What is a folder? A folder can consist of other files, right? A file means a test.txt, a text document that you create on your Windows PC, or a Word document that you create on your Windows PC. Those are files, an Excel file, right? These are all files. Folder is a special type of file. Folder can contain other files, right? That is what it will look like. So assume they all come under the slash folder. Inside the slash folder, there are different files and folders. And then inside the F1 folder, assume there are more files and folders. So assume there is a folder called home, and maybe there is another folder called basil, and then there is another folder called F10, right? And under F2 there can be other contents such as F20 folder, and then there can be a file with a name test.txt, or something else, or maybe basil.txt. And this is how the syntax can look like. And then inside the basil folder, assume there is another file called there is a folder called fold12, and then there is another folder called fold45, and then assume under home folder there is a file called new.txt. So this is how it will look like. I mean, just like Windows, under slash you have 3 folders, under F2 you have 2 folders, under F1 you have 3 folders. So like that, this is how it will look like. Under basil there are more content, and there is a test.txt here, and then there is fold for 5 here. So like that, I mean, this is how the Linux hierarchy will look like. And under fold for 5, there is another file. Assume the file name is again test.txt. Quite possible. So this is how the file system look like. It's like a tree, which that everything start from here slash. This is called the first folder. I mean, this is the first folder of the Linux file system. All right. And as you already know, when it comes to Linux, it has to be a command line that you get, right? Whatever you want to do on Linux, let's assume you want to create a file, or you want to create a folder, or you want to see the content of this particular folder, what is there inside this folder, right? All these things is done through a command, one or other command. So since we are completely using command line, it is very important that you become familiar with the files and folders, how to create them, how to delete them, how to see the content of those folders, right? How to make some changes inside the folder. So that is the things which I'm going to talk about. And first of all, how do you identify path of a given file or a folder? That's what I'm going to talk about. So every file in Linux, as I told you, their path always start from the slash. So you can refer each and every file and folder in reference to the slash. So for example, test.txt is a file that directly come under slash. You can call it slash test.txt. Sorry, slash test.txt, you can call it. So slash.test.txt indicate this file, because this is a file that directly come under slash. So that is how you will write the path starting from the slash and then test.txt. This is how you will write path in Linux. The complete path of any file can be written in this manner. So similarly, can you tell me how about basil.txt? What would be the path to basil.txt over here? So it's going to be, it starts from the slash, and then we have a f2 folder, and inside f2 you have basil.txt. So it will be something like this, slash f2 slash basil.txt. This is the complete path. So you use a slash to separate folder hierarchy, right? The first slash is not a separator. First slash means this folder, the first folder in Linux. Don't get confused between this slash and this slash. So first slash always indicate the first folder in Linux, and under that slash you have the folder f2 here, and under f2 you have the file basil.txt. So this is how you will write the path to basil.txt. So can you similarly, can you tell me what is the path to this f20 folder? Ping me in the chat, send me a chat message. I want to know what is the path to this particular folder f20. How do you write the complete path to the folder f20? You got it, right? So it's going to be, it start from the slash f2 slash f20. That is the path you need to write. So I'm going to write something like this: start from the first folder slash, then f2 folder, then f20 folder. So this is how you will write the complete path for this folder f20. And similarly, can you tell me what is the path for this file and also this file? There's a file called test.txt here, and there's a file called new.txt here. So send me in the chat what is the path to new.txt and what is the path to test.txt in the chat. I'm just trying to make sure that you understand this, right? So yeah, great, great, awesome, awesome, awesome. So it's going to be slash f1 slash basil slash fault 45 slash test.txt, and that is the path for this particular file. And how about this file new.txt? It's going to be slash f1 slash basil slash new.txt. This is the path for this particular file. So now you understood, now you have an idea how the path look like, how you can specify the path in Linux. Great. And you need to use this path when you learn Linux commands, right? For example, you want to create a new file called, you decided that under the F2 folder, you want to create one new file. The file name is, for example, come on, under F2, you decided that you want to create a new file with the name, let's say test.txt. Yes, you can have test.txt here, you can have test.txt here, you can have test.txt here. It's absolutely fine. All are three different files, all right? Just like Windows, in Windows also you can do the same thing. So think about this. This is what I want to do. I want to create a new file called test.txt inside F2. So what is the file that I want to create? I want to create this file with the path slash F2 slash test.txt. And in order to create a file, there's a command in Linux. The command is touch. So you will use touch space slash F2 slash test.txt when you want to create this file, if you want to create this file. Got it? So this is how it looks like. Or you want to create a new folder, for example, under folder 1.2. Here you want to create a new folder, and you want to name the folder fault B. So this is the name that you want to give to the folder which is under F2. So what is the path of the folder that you want to create? It is start from the slash F1 slash basil slash fault12 slash fault B. This is the path that you want to create, the folder that you want to create. The command is mkdir space, then you mention the complete path. So this is a Linux command to create a folder. This is the Linux command to create a file, right? Like that, there are different Linux commands which will reference these files and folders. I mean, think about, you want to see the content of the folder basil. There is a Linux command called ls that would display the content of basil folder. And there is a command you can use to copy a file from here and paste it here, right? In Windows, you do copy pasting. So from folder 45, you want to copy test.txt, and then you want to paste it inside the home folder. So there's a command called cp in Linux, and using that command, you can copy one file to other location. Then you have to mention which is the file that you want to copy. What is the file? Starting from the slash f1 basil fault45 test.txt. That file I want to copy to this folder. Which folder? Slash f1 slash home, that folder. So when you work on a Linux command line, I mean, I will talk about all these commands, right? Don't worry about them. My point, what I'm trying to make here is that every time you use a Linux command to work on file or folders, for example, creating a file, creating a folder, editing a file, right? You can edit a file just like Notepad. In Linux, you have editors. You want to copy a file from one location to another. You want to create a folder, right? Any kind of file related operations that you want to do in Linux. Linux has different commands, and all these commands want to reference the files and folders. That is the way how it works. So that is why I am telling you to work on Linux command line or to execute any Linux command, it is important that you know this file system hierarchy and path to each and every file on Linux. Very important. All right, so that is exactly what I wanted to discuss today. And we will start with the Linux commands, right? I will introduce some commands one by one. So I'm going to clear everything. Now you have a clear idea how exactly this works, right? So first of all, let us talk about a Linux command that can create a new file, the touch command I told you. You can
Basil,
use, yeah,
Before going to this command, I wanted to know that like on which particular Linux version, how to check that, like which particular Linux version machine we are working, how to check
we are
that.
working on Ubuntu, and there is a file called /etc/issue.
Huh?
If you look into the content of that file, there's a command cat space /etc
Okay.
/issue. There's a default file which you can see inside.
Like I'm asking in putty, like what we
Yeah,
have to do.
putty or Windows doesn't matter. Putty or
Huh?
terminal doesn't matter. You are working on Linux, right?
Yes.
So what I'm
Cat.
trying to say from the what you are trying to do here is that you want to know what is the operating system you are working on. So what is the
Yes.
command to know that? Is that the
That
question?
is
So
uname. That is uname.
yeah, your name
Huh?
won't give you the operating system.
Yes. And the version, the version command is.
Let us not get into those topics yet.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay, Basil.
yeah, yeah. We will just keep our focus on file system. And to answer your question, you will find a file
Okay.
named issue at this location under slash under etc. There's a file called issue. Look at the content of that file. You will get the answer. That is to
Okay.
answer your question. So we will get back to those topics later, not now.
Okay, Basil. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So let's learn some basic Linux commands now. So there's a Linux command called touch. Touch is a Linux command that can create a file. So my intention is I want to create a file with the name test.txt inside slash. What command would you use? It's always Linux command space, then the argument. So in our case, the path to the file. So I want to create this file test.txt under slash folder. So what is the path of the file that I want to create? It is slash test.txt. Then the syntax will be touch space test.txt. This Linux command, touch is the Linux command to create a new file on Linux, and then you specify the file that you want to create, and this is the file that I want to create. test.txt, indicating that the file test.txt directly under the slash folder. Or assume I want to create a file in this folder, right? That's what I want to do. I want to create a file with the name new.txt over here. I want to create this file. Can you tell me what would be the command I need to use? The command is always touch. Touch is the command to create a new file. Touch space, then you mention the file. What is the file? It starts from the slash, then f1 slash basil slash fold 2112 slash fold b slash new.txt. This is the command I need to execute to create this file in my hard disk, in my file system. Does that make sense? So you always use the touch command every time you want to create a new file. Touch is the command that can create a new file always. So can you tell me, I want to create a new file in this folder, and the file name is basil.txt. I want to create a file with the name basil.txt. At this location, this is the file I want to create. Can you tell me what command would you use? Send me in the chat. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, so you got an idea. So for any Linux command, the syntax will be something like this: the command space, then the argument. In our case, touch space the file that you want to create. So this is the syntax always in Linux: command space argument. Okay. All right. So touch is the command that can. So let us test it out, right? That's what I'm going to. I'm going to run some commands here in our Linux machine. Oops. 1 second. I got disconnected.
Hello, Basil.
Yes. Yes, Soumya. Go ahead.
So, like as you said, now it will be better if you will from now onwards you will log into root user, correct? Because root also like a super user. So
Exactly.
let's suppose tomorrow I'll start, then post going to this page. I need to log in as root or post Ubuntu. Then I need to do sudo and then I need to start, or directly I can start with the root.
Exactly. Exactly. You are right about it. So that's what you
So
will
like
always uh,
yeah, I,
become the
sorry.
root user. That's what you will always do.
So I no need to do this sudo su slash root. Directly I can start with root and
No, I'm sorry. No, first you have to run the command, log into
Ubuntu.
put, then run the command sudo s. Yeah, it has to be Ubuntu.
Okay,
First
okay.
it has to
Then
be Ubuntu.
this is the steps. Okay.
Correct. Okay, great. All right, so let us continue. I got disconnected, so I'm going to log in again to my machine. and I'm going to become the root user. Yeah, that's what I will always do. So I'm going to create this file touch/test.txt. What this command will do, it will create this file test.txt under the slash folder. Okay, and touch/home/basil.txt. What this command will do, assume there's a folder called home under slash. In that folder, it will create the file basil.txt. So you can always use the touch command whenever you want to create a file, right? Every time you want to create a file, you use the touch command. And then there is a command called ls. ls is another Linux command. If you want to see the content of a given folder, you can use the ls command. You want to know what is the content inside the slash folder, you can type ls space slash, right? Or you want to know what is the content inside the basil folder, you can type ls space slash f1 slash basil. So ls is the command that you always use whenever you want to see the content of a given folder. I want to see the content of this folder called f10. So to see the content of this folder f10, the command will be slash ls space slash f1 slash f10. So ls is the command that would display the content of a given folder. So I type ls space slash, it would show me all this content that directly come under slash, not the sub content, not these files, but these files, whatever files that directly come under slash, it would display me those files. So let us run this command ls space slash and figure out what is there inside slash. The command is ls space slash. ls space slash command would actually show you all files and folders that directly come under slash. And remember, we created a file called test.txt inside slash using the touch command. So you will see this file also in the same location. So yes, it's here, test.txt. This is a file that you created using the touch command, and now you see the content of the slash folder using ls command. You identified that yes, the file is there. And there are many other files also, right? There is a file called bin, a folder dev, home folder, then there are some other files, other folders. There are n number of files and folders you can see inside slash. So now let's say I want to see the content of this folder called etc. Can you ping me the command to do that? I want to see the content of the etc folder. ls is the command you always use if you want to see the content of a given folder. And now I want to see, what I want to see is the content of the folder etc. Tell me what command would you use? I mean, send me in the chat. Go ahead, try. I just want to make sure that you all get it. Everyone, just send the message. Perfect. So it's going to be ls space slash etc, because you know that etc is a folder that come under slash, right? etc is a folder that come under slash. You got to know because you ran this command and etc was one of the output. So yes, etc is a folder that come under slash. So the path will be slash etc. And if you want to see the content inside etc, it will be ls space slash etc. Clear, right? So let me clarify. In case of any confusion, let's clarify and move on. So under the slash, I noticed that when I run the ls space slash command, I identified that there is a folder named etc that come under slash. So the folder name is etc. And inside etc there are different content. There is a lot of content that come directly under etc. Now I want to know what are the content inside etc. So what did I do? I ran this command ls space /etc. So /etc folder had a lot of content in it, as you know. So whatever content are out there, they will get displayed when I run this command. So let me run the command ls space /etc. You can see all files and folders that come under /etc folder. Looks good. This is how it works, right? This is how it works. Great. Sorry. So I ran ls space /etc. Then I noticed that there is a folder called apt that come under /etc. Now I want to see the content of the apt folder. Can you tell me what command would you use? apt is a folder that come under /etc. I want to see its content. What command would you use? Send me in the chat. Yeah, perfect. So it's going to be ls space /etc/apt. This is the command you will run to see the content. So now you understood. So now I want to create a new file in this folder. So inside this folder, I want to create a file with the name basil.txt. What command would I use? Basil.txt is a file I want to create inside this location. What command would I use? Touch. Exactly. Touch is the command that can create a new file, and I want the file to be created at this location. So I specify the path to the file like this. Perfect. So you got an idea, right? And similar to touch, there's a command called mkdir that you can use to create a folder. So I want to create a folder with the name f10. Inside apt folder, I want to create a folder with the name f10. Can you tell me what command would you use to create that folder? To create a folder, command is mkdir, not touch. Touch for creating file, mkdir for creating folders. So what command would you use? You would use the mkdir command. Mkdir space f10 is the folder that you want to create. Where you want to create it, this path /etc/apt. So this is the command you will run if you want to create this folder using mkdir. Okay, now I am curious if this file got created or if this folder got created, how I can verify if this file and this folder are present in this location. Can anyone ping me, send me a message? What command can I use to verify that this file is there and this folder is there at this location? I can use the ls command, right? ls is the command I can use. ls space, then I specify this path. I expect that basil f10 will be one of the output and basil.txt would be another output, because this file and this folder are located here. So run this command. Yes, there is basil.txt and yes, there is f10, right? All are created by me. This is created using mkdir command. This is created using the touch command. Awesome. You want to delete a file, there's a command called rm. In Linux, if you want to delete a file, the command is rm to delete a file. Rm space, then you would specify the path to the file. So assume I want to delete this file. What would be the command? I want to delete the basil.txt file from the apt folder. What command can I use? Rm is the command, Linux command to delete a file. Yeah, yeah, so perfect. So it's going to be rm space /etc/apt/ basil.txt. This will delete the file. So how I can verify the file is deleted? Always there is a space after the command. How I can verify the file is deleted? I can use the ls command, ls space /etc/apt. The file is gone. I don't see basil.txt anymore in the output. The file is deleted by my rm command. And always when you specify etc, it is not etc, it is /etc. Don't forget the first folder. Everything start from the first folder. So yeah, perfect. Okay. So like that, there are different commands, right? One command to copy a file from one location to another. You can use cp for copy paste. You want to copy a file from one location to another. So for example, this basil.txt file, okay, I already deleted that. So just assume there is a file called sources.list, right? There is a file called sources.list at this location under apt folder. I want to copy this file into, let's say, /home. There is a folder already under / there is a folder already called home. I don't know whether you noticed it or not. And when I run ls space / along with etc, there is one more folder called home, and in this folder I want to copy this file basil.txt. Sorry, sources.list, which is located inside the apt folder. I want to copy this file into the folder home, which come under /. So you use the cp command, cp space source space destination. This is the syntax. The command is cp for copy pasting. Command is cp. Then you specify which file you want to copy. In my case, it is the source.list that I want to copy. Then you specify to which folder you want to copy. I want to copy to the /home folder. So can you all send me the message that I can use to copy this file source.list? This is the file I want to copy, sources.list, which is under this location. That is the source file. I mean, here I need to mention which file I want to copy. Then I would mention space which folder I want it to be copied to.
Basil, like in case of any incorrect files or something, does it show any message for us?
It will throw you an error. If the file does not exist, it would tell you there is no such file. You will get an error. Correct.
And if the file
So
is already present, so there is any message that the file is already present, or it will create the copy of that file.
Nikita, I didn't hear you. Can you come again?
Yeah, so if the file is already present, so it will create a copy of that file, or it will show the error like the file is already present with the name, same name.
No. Yeah, what Srikanth was asking is, yeah, in your case, no, it will still get copied. But it can vary from Linux to Linux. In Ubuntu, it might get copied. In other machine, it would give you warning, right? That can be. So the question what Srikanth was asking is, let's say I want to copy this file and then I specify the file name, something like this, /etc/apt. So this is the file I want to copy, and to the destination /home. This is where I want. So this is the right command to do that. And when you execute this command, assume this file does not exist or this folder does not exist. Then what will happen when I execute this command? You will get an error. If this folder does not exist, you will get an error saying that there is no such folder /home. Or if this file does not present, you would get an error saying that there is no such file. So this file has to be present, the folder has to be present, then only this command will succeed. So Linux will check, verify if the file actually present or not before executing the command. In our case, yes, they both are present. Source.list is present in apt folder and home is present in the / folder. So no problem. Run this command. What happens is a copy of this file will be created inside /home. So it's a copy paste. It's a duplicate file that get created. You will find source.list in the apt folder, and also you will find the same file in the home folder also. So two separate file with the same content. So in Windows, you do the copy paste, right? What happens when you do a copy paste? It creates a duplicate file. Same thing happens when you run the cp command. So how do I verify if the file has come inside /home? Can you tell me? I want to check if this file has come inside /home. ls space /home, right? To see the content of /home, you always type ls space /home, and yes, the file has come here. Okay, the file has come here. So a copy paste, cp command will do a copy paste. What if you want to do a cut paste? What is meant by cut paste? You want to relocate the file from one location to another. In Windows, you do the cut paste, right? In similar operation. In Linux, there's a command called mv space, then the same syntax, which file you want to, mv space source space destination, which file you want to copy. Then so yeah, the command would have been mv instead of cp if your intention was to relocate this file to this location. So once you run the mv command, this file will not be there in apt anymore. It will be relocated to /home. That is the difference between cp and mv. cp for copy paste and mv for cut paste.
Basil,
Yeah.
hello. Hello. Basil, I am not able to hear you. Hello.
Basil, I think you are on mute, Basil.
Hello, Basil. We are not able to hear you.
So just give me 2 minutes, just 2 minutes.
Problem ചെയ്തതാണോ? Sorry guys, actually my connection got interrupted. Give me 1 second. Okay. Yeah. Right now I'm connected through my phone. I hope it's audible and clear. Do you experience any problem? Can you hear me
No.
fine?
Yes.
Okay. All good, right? Okay. Yeah. Soumya, go ahead. You're asking something.
Yeah. So whatever we were discussing is like CP move. This is what we are doing within the system, correct? Like there is one system and all the files are in different locations, but the system is same, correct? But if I want to do it from one system to another, then there will be something different. The command will change, correct?
Yeah, definitely. This is for copying within the machine.
Within the machine.
CP command
Okay.
or MV command are for copying within the machine. Yes.
Okay.
Great. Let me log in once again. And you want to edit a file, there is a command. So ls space /home, I have a file with the name basil.txt inside ls space inside the /home folder. Now I want to edit this file in an editor. There's a command, there's an editor called Nano, which is very similar to Notepad in Windows. Using a Nano editor, you can edit a file in Linux. You can add content, you can type in some content, then you can save the file, you can come out of the file, you can close the file, right? All these things can be done. Nano is a command line editor in Linux, which is actually very similar to Notepad in Windows. So Nano space, then the file name. So if basil.txt is the file I want to edit, can you ping me the command you would use to edit the file basil.txt, which is inside /home? I want to edit the file using Nano Editor. Syntax is nano space, then the path to the file. So what path should I use? It's going to be nano space /home /basil.txt. Then what happens is this file will open in a Nano Editor. And currently this is an empty file. It has no content in it. We created the file using touch command. By default, the file will have no content in it. So I am going to add some content inside the file by using the Nano Editor. I am editing this file. Run the command. Then what happens is the file will open as expected. It is a blank file without content. I'm going to add some content. Something, I'm just typing in something. I added some content inside the file, and now I want to save it. Right after typing some content, now I want to save it. So if you look below, there are different commands available. If you want to save it, it is Control O. If you want to come out of the Nano Editor, you want to close the editor, it is Command X, Control X. If you want to get some help, it is Control G. Then like that, if you want to search inside the file, there's a command. If you want to replace something with another, there's a command. So like that, there are different operations that are permitted within the Nano Editor. So what I am going to do is I'm going to save this file by typing Control O. For saving the file, it is Control O. So press Control O. And as you press, it will ask you to confirm the file name. very similar to Notepad, right? Every time you try to save the file for the first time, it will ask you, is this the file name that you want to save? So yes, in our case, yes, this is the file that I want to save. It is /home/basil.txt. This is the file. So just press enter button and that's it. Now the file got saved. And now you want to close the editor. It is Control X. Control X will close the editor. So I press Control X. Now it got closed and I am back to my command line. And if I want to edit the file again, I can run the same command again. This time, the file already has some content. I open the file in the editor. I can see the existing content. I can add new content. I can make modification. And assume without saving, you try to exit. Let's say I directly press Control X without saving the file. Then it will ask you, you have made modification, but you have not saved the changes. So do you want to save the changes, modification? Press Y for yes, and then it will again ask you for the file name confirmation. Yes, just press enter, and that's it. So this time it will save and exit. So that is how you will use Nano Editor in order to edit a file. Great. So from tomorrow, we will take a break in between. Sorry, today since it was the basics, what I thought is we will cover the basic commands and then we will wind up. From tomorrow, I will give a break. Sorry for no breaks today. All right, so these are the basic commands that I wanted to discuss. And then there is a Linux command, a very useful command in Linux called man. Man is a Linux command that would show you the documentation about all other Linux commands. For example, you want to know about ls command, you can type man space ls. Or you want to know about touch command, you can type man space touch. Or you want to learn about mkdir command, you can type man space mkdir. So what man command does is it will open the documentation, or in other words, manual page of the given command. So man space ls will open the manual page of the ls command. You can see the ls manual, what ls will do, what is the syntax, a short description about the ls command, what are the different options that ls command have. So I will talk about this. So what I have told you is the syntax of Linux command. It's always command space argument, right? So ls space slash, or ls space slash etc, or ls space, any folder. Actually, for any commands, not just touch, even touch also we were following the same syntax, command space argument. Here also command space argument. So in between you can actually put some options. For every Linux command, you can use some options while running it. So some option will tell the command to do something differently. For example, ls, you simply type it, it would display only the file name. If you want to see all the file in a list format, for example, let me come out of the command line and come out of the man page. You type q, you will come out of the man page. So you just run the ls command with an option -l. You know the command what ls space slash home means? It would show you the content of slash home, but only the names of the files and folders. But if you run the same command, but this time with -l option in between, so there are spaces, after ls there is a space, after option there is a space. If you run the command in this syntax, you can not only see the file name, you can see the file name in the last column. You can also see when the file was last modified, what is the size of the file and the folder, and then who owns the file, what is the group of the file. You can find different information about the file as well if you run the ls command with the option -l. So ls command has lots of various options, and the actual syntax of ls command is ls space some option, some or more than one option, space argument. This is the actual syntax. But ls space /home will also work. If you run that command, it would simply show you the name of the files. That's it. But -l would show you a detailed description about that file. So like that, not just ls command, for every Linux command, there are different options. So let's take a look. Take a look at the ls command option. So I type man space ls to open the manual page of the ls command to understand what is the syntax. The syntax is always this: ls space option space file or folder. So there is an option called -a. There's an option called -a. There's another option called -l that we have already seen. -a, let's take a look what is meant by -a. Do not ignore entries starting with a dot. Do not ignore entries starting with a dot. So I will tell you what that means. ls command by default, it will not show you the files and folders that begin with a dot. I will just demonstrate it. Take a look. So inside the /home folder, I have different. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new file inside /home. The file name is .test.txt. Is it okay? Can I create a file with a name .test.txt? It is absolutely okay. You can have dot in the file names. That's okay. I'm also going to create a folder inside /home. I'm creating a folder with the name .f1. So they are like normal folders and normal file. The only thing is that they both begin with a dot. It's absolutely fine. So now what I'm going to do is I want to see the content of /home. So I expect to see all those files that I created .f1 and .test.txt, but they are not there. They are missing. Actually, they are not missing. ls command won't show them. Show those files which begin with a dot. That is what happening. And if you want to see them, you can use this option -a space /home. This time you would be able to see them. .f1 become visible, .test.txt become visible. By default, they are not shown, or you can say they are hidden. If you simply run ls space /home, they are hidden, but -a option would show them. Generally, if you have a sensitive file, you start that file with a dot so that people cannot quickly see them, right? So it's just ignore ls, just ignore those files unless someone use this -a option, which is always a good idea. In Windows also you have hidden files, so you can hide some files, and you can if you want to see them, you just select the option see them. You can see them, otherwise they won't be displayed all the time, which is a good thing, right? If you have some sensitive or important file, you don't want them to get accidentally deleted, or this kind of issue does not need to happen. So this is a way of hiding files, quickly hiding files in Linux. All right, so man command will give you all these options you can use along with -a ls command, -a, -b, -caps. We just go through it and read them when you get a chance. And what I want all of you to do is I want all of you to start with the first assignment. Let me show you the. I hope everyone registered on basil.dorward, and some of you still don't have access to any courses. The reason is I have not got confirmation from your contact person. So please talk to your contact person, get your confirmation, and then you would be able to see the courses. So those who can see the courses, yeah, Remya, this is where you can register, and anyone who joined today. Kumar and Ramya. So this is the page. You can go to basil.dorvat.tech. Then to register yourself, click this button, create a new account, and then you can register yourself. I'm sending the link in the chat. So what you have to do is you have to register there, and you will not see any courses even after you registered. The reason is I need approval from your contact person. So until then you won't see anything. So yeah. So those who have access, go to Linux and networking, and there is an assignment there called assignment. Yeah, under Linux basics, there is one assignment called 50 Linux commands. So open that. Once you open it, you can actually see a URL. I will send this URL to everyone because some of you still don't have access. So please bookmark this URL that I am sending you in the chat. Bookmark it. And in this URL, you will be able to find some 50 Linux commands. Okay, there are 50 Linux commands. And you know, how did today's class went? I assume, you know, it went well for everyone. I see very good responses in the chat and all answers are correct. You are doing good. But you know, the problem with Linux is you won't get comfortable with Linux unless you work on it. So you need to keep working on your Linux machine, run all the commands that I ran today. You know, make yourself comfortable working on the command line. It takes a little bit of time. I mean, right, I'm talking to those who are new to Linux. You have been more comfortable working on Windows, right, using mouse. But first time when you work on Linux, you will experience, you know, some little bit of struggle to understand this file system concepts and everything. And that will only pass, even though you understand the file system concept, it will take time to, you know, get comfortable with the command line, you know, work fast in the Linux command line. And that is what you should be focusing on this week. This week I want all of you to, you know, enhance your Linux speed of working in the command line, right? I don't want you to by heart all the Linux command. That is not the intention. But you know, you by heart them automatically after some time. Right now you focus on finding the right commands as quickly as you can. So I'm going to give you some 50 Linux commands to work on. Learn those 50 Linux commands, run those 50 Linux commands, and prepare a one sentence note about that command in your own words, what the command did, right? In your own words, you write one sentence note and submit this assignment. So the first command is tar. I will tell you what your approach will be while doing the assignment. So first command is tar. So tar command create a tar